Live, Facebook Live. Good evening, beautiful people, wherever you might be, in the Northern Hemisphere, in the Southern Hemisphere, in the West or in the East, or in the middle, or out on the big blue sea. Good evening, my name is Liam. I'm an author, I'm a poet, and I'm here to share some of my work with you this evening. It's my great pleasure, it's my great joy, and it's my passion. And I'm not only going to be reading poems to you, new poems, which I've written recently, I'm also going to be reading poems that I have intuitively just found while paging through these books. Now, after 10 years of writing, 10 years of writing, yes, I have 3 beautiful books. They're hardcovers, and they really are spectacular. Now, what makes a book of poetry interesting? And let me tell you, this, as far as I know, no one else has done as yet. But someone will, because it's actually a brilliant idea. What I did, the poems which are in this book, which are in these books, are not only written, but if you look at the bottom of each and every poem, there's a QR code. And what I did, these QR codes, when you scan them, the book speaks to you. It connects you to the website where you can actually hear the author reciting his own poem. And it's underscored with gentle guitar music or piano music. And it really is quite beautiful. When I experienced this personally for the first time, I was amazed. It's something really special. So if you want to give someone a beautiful gift, if you want to gift yourself something really extraordinary, just to accompany your days and your life, full of inspiration, full of beauty, full of the magic of the written English word and its oral representation, then do yourself the favor and buy one of these copies of New Millennium Poetry. You find it on, or you find them on Amazon, either under my name, Liam Kennedy, or under the title of the books, New Millennium Poetry. So, enough about the books. What makes this poetry interesting? Okay, and this is what I'd like to read to you this evening to begin. First of all, a warm greeting. Carol and Simona, welcome. Thank you for your time. Here we go. What makes this poetry so interesting? It's all about you, me, and everyone, really. Now, is this presumption? Perhaps you're right. Yet, as you start to dig into the writing, and your mental taste buds start to penetrate the metaphor, reflecting on the significance, activate the flow, the alliteration, well, by now you should be at least a little bit more interested in reading a bit further into the menu. So, what have I done? With all of these poems, I have divided them into different categories. Themes which reflect upon our human condition. So what could they be? Alphabetically, there are children's poetry, emotional poetry, fun poetry, inspirational poetry, love poetry, nature poetry, poetry on passing, and poetry on the seasons. There is succinct poetry, which is poetry very, very shortly, very, very short poems, just 3, 4, 5 lines. There's transformational poetry. They're thoughts of inspiration. And tonight, for the first time, I'm going to read to you what a new category, which is called Affirmations. Good evening, Michael. Welcome. What a pleasure. I'm thrilled that you made it. Yeah, this evening, Affirmations. And they have been written in the last couple of days. They've been part of a whole course of meditations that I've been doing, and I find them interesting, and I find them empowering, I suppose is the most powerful word. So, you've heard all the categories of poetry, right? We've got Millennial Poetry Volume 1 and 2 and 3. Now, the Volume 3 complements its predecessors. And at last, the trilogy of new Millennium Poetry is a magnus opus to the human spirit, that we may continue to be inspired by that which is so much greater than us all. That we may continue to be inspired by that which is so much greater than us all. And what is that? That's what I'm about to share with you. So, as I mentioned, I'm going to start this evening with affirmations. Now, poetry as such is always, it's a task, it's a mission, because you're not in front of a television with all movements and images changing all the time. You are relying solely on the deep sensitivity of your own listening. So I call it divergent focus, and what divergent focus is actually sitting back quietly, turning off distractions in your environment, making yourself comfortable, almost meditative, by closing your eyes and by opening the sensitivity of what you hear. And the intention here is that you do try to discover what resonates with you. There's lots in these poems which won't resonate with you, but that doesn't really matter. On the one hand, we have the beauty of the written word, but the magic happens when something resonates, when there's a word, a thought, an idea, an inspiration which lights up in your own thinking. Aha! That is something which I actually wanted to formulate in my own words, but through the formulation of finding it within a poem or an affirmation, you recognize something which is already inherent in you. And this is the moment of inspiration, because the energy jumps and awakes within yourself. And that's the intention. It's the intention to awaken something greater within us all, which we all carry by virtue of our human nature. So, enough said about, let's dig into the real nitty-gritty. So, I hope everyone is comfortable, everyone is listening, because here we go. First of all, with affirmations. I am becoming more of my true self each day as I become conscious of the truth of myself. I am becoming more aware of my true self each day as I become conscious of the truth of myself. I accept greatness into my life as acceptance allows me to be great. I accept greatness into my life because acceptance allows me to be great. This is an affirmation of who you are. Sometimes we forget how great we actually are in our fundamental human nature. So the striving here with the affirmation is to leave anything which might be negative behind and to affirm something which is already deeply seated within, invisible and voiceless, but potentially there and waiting its affirmation, its recognition, and its awakening in the way that you consciously deal and live your own lives. I am open to achieve all of the opportunities which come into my life as I create these each and every day. I'm open to achieve all of the opportunities which come into my life as I create these each and every day. So the opportunities, life's greatness, is something that you remind yourself you are open to receive, because in being open, in your sensitivity, in your conscious awareness of the life in which you are living, you will recognize more and more opportunities to enrich the life that you live. I'm living in accordance with my highest values because this congruence of values expresses who I truly am. Now, this is a very powerful one. If you just listen, let's go through it once again. I live in accordance with my highest values. I live in accordance with my highest values because the congruence of my values expresses who I truly am. Yeah? The congruence of my highest values expresses who I truly am. Yeah? So the more this affirmation, the more you take this affirmation from the moment you wake up in the morning, it's in a way, it's a reminding yourself that to live to your truest, deepest, and highest values. I grant myself the care I need as self-appreciation and love is the foundation of my happiness. So, I'll say it again. I grant myself the care I need as self-appreciation and love is the foundation of my happiness. Yeah? So this being self-aware, aware of your truest nature. And your truest nature is nothing other than an awareness of the fact that you are a being of love. And this awareness is the foundation of all happiness. I attract success and abundance as love is boundless and attracts successfully that what it is. I attract success and abundance as love is boundless and attract successfully that what it is. So as you connect, as your conscious awareness connects with the realization of the endlessness, of the boundlessness of love, this can only be successful. Because love recognizes and connects with what it is. It's just a recognition. Yeah. But you recognize it within yourself first. You become aware of it within yourself first. And as that awareness comes to fruition and grows within your own awareness, it reaches out beyond you and starts to resonate with the community, with the world, with the life in which you live. Yeah? Life and love recognizing itself. I create reality by the way I think. Now, this is a really important one. I create because the realities in which we live are a one-to-one result of the way we think. Everything in our lives, our emotional lives, our financial lives, our health, our relationships to our families, to our friends, to our spouses, to our children, to our pets, everything is a reflection of the way we think about it. So if something is not working, if something is incongruent, if there is pain, if there's unhappiness, if there's dissatisfaction, something called neuroplasticity, this weird and wonderful word, all it means is that you change your thoughts about what it was that makes you unhappy. Your brain will, with new thoughts about a past experience, create a new set of feelings, freeing you from the past and giving you the strength to see something with a completely new set of feelings. Feelings which are freer and richer and constructive, productive, and not in any way negative. Anything which is negative just holds you back. Eddie, welcome. What a pleasure. To my poetry reading, bi-weekly on a Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Central European. So I'm reading some affirmations, and I'm just about to read the last one, which is a really powerful one. And it says, I create reality by the way I think. As new thoughts about old trauma enable the freedom of new feelings in my present. So it always begins with thoughts which move to new feelings, and then it moves into your hands, the way we deal and we do things in life. So it's thinking about it, feeling about it, and doing it. So Rita, what a pleasure. At the bottom of this live presentation is a comment bar. And please use the opportunity to find out how to use this comment bar, because I'd like to read everyone a poem, but your poem, later in this presentation. But you do need, a lot of people haven't found out how to actually use the comment bar. So while you're listening, see if you can fiddle around and find the comment bar, because we're going to need it in a minute. So, affirmations and what makes this poetry so interesting. That was, in a way, an introduction to the evening. And I'm now going to move on to a poem which I'd written, and I somehow never published it. I forgot about it. I was just paging through my work, and then I came across this a little bit earlier this evening, so I thought, great, I'd love to read it to everyone. It rings, it has a ring of Shakespeare, but you can tell me what. Load shedding here, so the feed is intermittent. Okay, here we go. You. Divergent Focus. First poem of the evening. You. Thy art is like this warm summer long, the fairness of your face sweet with song. In spring your buds flower to the growing light. In autumn's chill we too will wilt and sigh. When hot the eye of heaven weeps, your beauty's joy alone it keeps, eternal in my gaze enthralled. Yet naught of this beauty that you wear will last. As time calls these lines, they too shall lose the life, the love, and all that's real. Live long, lives on creating what we feel. So the poem takes us through the reflection of a life well lived, that even though in the course of time we follow like the seasons of a year, the spring, the summer, and the autumn of our lives, in the end, the life, the love, and all that's real, live long, lives on creating what we feel. Lives on creating what we feel. So our emotions are what we feel, and how we create with these emotions makes us the master of the ceremony of your own living life. Yeah? So if these emotions are weighed and negative and full of memories which pull one down, the idea is, with neuroplasticity, the science of how the mind can change, to create new thoughts about past experiences, positive thoughts, seeing things in a new light, and giving yourself the inspiration of love and joy for what's been, and emancipating yourself from that weight, thereby having the freedom to embrace more in the life around you as you live. How did I come to start writing all of this? And I'll tell you a brief anecdote. This morning I was running and the thought just went through my head, yes, I can actually share, just very briefly, 9 years ago. I'd been running a company for about 12 or 13 years, and this company in 2008 crashed. It went bankrupt, and I went bankrupt. And I had struggled for 3 or 4 years with the intensity of all of my creative thinking, how to keep this company going and keeping it afloat. And it didn't work. It crashed. And it was a devastating devastating moment in my biography at that time. I thought, how is it possible with all of the intellectual energy I put into keeping this thing going? It's broken, and I am completely broken and broke with it. Anyway, I did, however, realize, and I remember the morning after I got the news, this is something I have created. I created it. And if I'm to change, then I'm going to have to change the way I feel about the world, because something I was doing was wrong. And since that day, I have been working with positive affirmations. And I moved forward from that into meditations. And from that into writing and being creative. And from that, you see, it initiated a whole process of rediscovering the real human being, the man that I have become. And that's a very different one to the one that was there 8, 9, 10 years ago. So that was a little poem I've just discovered recently, the poem You, which goes through the seasons. And but let's move forward. This is a beautiful poem I'd love to share with you, because it's a story. It's called The Friend, and in a way it talks about the relationship between two people, and at the end of the poem you will hear the one person leaves. Twixt the gold of autumn, its silver grey, which slowly spreads as years go by across my head. It's you, who in words, in thoughts, in manifold deeds unsaid, have filled my life and more, have touched the deep, strong core, the meaning of me, of my being more. This treasure now fills the chest wherein contained my beating heart doth lie. The wet tear strokes with gentle cheek, my memory warm against your cheek, now shines and takes us spinning across the floor. The dance, the tango, erotic movement more. We've shared the stage called life. We've shared applause, and moments lonely lost in strife. And through it all, from waking kiss till late now in the fall, of day, of season, of this magic moment, captured call, we have sung in tune, harmonic resonating we. So friend, whose hands mine once warmed on cold nights, departed swift this morning into light, left warmth, yet I'll hold on tight. In my still beating heart, the love to carry you across distant night. So there you are, this partnership, and the one partner leaves, yeah? We have sung in tune, harmonic resonating we. So friend, whose hands mine once warmed on cold nights, departed swift this morn into light, left warmth, yet I'll hold on tight, in my still beating heart the love to carry you across that long and distant night. And it's with love that we think about those who have departed this beautiful, intense, and at times crazy life that we live. Excuse me. This poem, this is a real inspirational poem called Shine, and it appeals to you as an individual to do exactly that. Stop trying to fit in when you were born to stand out. Stop asking for forgiveness when you have been given this all along. Stop praying for improvement when it's alone your insight which creates perfection. Stop groveling, for you are the children of light. Cast off this rough disguise and sing, for it's the ear, the eye, the mouth of the Creator which speaks, which sings, and in your thinking lifts up the mask, the cloak, the disguise. So shine, shine, shine. Yeah, there we have it once again, you know. This deep, intrinsic, true you, living to your highest truth, which sings and in your thinking lifts the mask, the cloak, and the disguise. Lifts it. Lift the disguise of who you believe you are and recognize this magnificence and shine. This next poem, the last one before, I'm going to actually, as I said, would like everyone to send me a number. Last poem. This is a love poem. It's called Red, Once Blue. It's a beautiful poem about love. And don't we all love being in love? We all love being in love, yeah. I fell in love the other day. I don't know why, I'm not quite sure or what to say. We chatted as it happens all the while. We laughed, smiled. The simple act, the fact of having recognized that underlying our conversations, between our eyes, beneath a glance or two, a knot of excitement pulsed with you. A brilliant ribbon of light swirled freely around my heart. Magnificence cast its spell. In me, I surrendered to the bewilderment of you. I observed myself keenly. I wondered at how this happens. I'm thrilled with the wild child in me. Once red, now turns to blue. What is this vibrance felt in me flows from you? Is this how love happens? Afar out there beyond, you are now alive in me. Beating, thudding, irregular across my chest, excitement in a pearl, a home open to the few, is now yours to touch, enriching me so much. Sweet smiles across the night, to turn in me the living key around and around. Treasure is this place within me found. Shines its gorgeous light to dazzle us with beating hearts. Is this right? Yet could be wrong. Is this life's song? It's new. Yes, life's long I've listened. waiting for this harmony, melody, symphony in blue, now turns to red in me, to red in you. A symphony, a melody, a harmony in blue, now turns to red in me, in you. Thank you. Thank you, Beatrice. Well, that's what I have prepared. Thank you for listening. Part 2 of the presentation is even more spectacular because it works like this. I've got these books here. I would like you as an audience to simply give me a page number between 1 and 212. Give me a page number and I simply open the book on that page and read you a poem that you have intuitively asked for. And then listen to the content and try and recognize the resonance. Does that work? Does that fit? Is it something which really touches me at the moment? And we've done this in the last couple of readings, and again, they are mysterious, magical moments. And I'd love to try that. Gilda, okay, here we go. Okay, slowly, you guys. Michael, 58. Gilda, 147. Beatrice, 212. Anybody else? Anybody else? William, give me a number. Give me a number. I'd love to do that. Good. Michael, 58. Exactly. You need to, Michael, I'm going to take page 58 on book number 3. Aha. Michael. About love. And this poem about love, this poem begins with a quote from Rumi. Anyone who doesn't know Rumi? Yes, go and Google Rumi, R-U-M-I, Rumi. A 14th century Sufi genius of the written word. An Einstein, a Shakespeare wrapped into one. Absolutely fascinating. And he says, Rumi says, love is more than just an emotion. It's your very existence. So, love is more than just an emotion. It is your very existence. And perhaps you could hear resonating through everything which we've been talking about this evening, this simple idea. Exactly this. Love is your very existence. We name love as an emotion. We label love with our heartbeat. We feel love through the pores of our touch. Still, love is truly more. Love goes deeper. Love goes higher. Love goes further. Love knows all. For love is our very existence, uniting the polarities, creating the bonds, healing the wounds of this world and that, filling our being from the inside. Speak out, I love you, as an embrace to include all. as a recognition of all to come, as a sharing of self to selfless. Together we gaze in love a moment longer, dissolve in the light, shiny, bright and true, to re-emerge purged of the shadows, eyes ablaze with hope, hearts aflame with passion, minds tuned to the universe. Eyes ablaze with hope, hearts aflame with passion, minds tuned to the universe. About love. Thank you. Thank you for that one, Michael. Well done. Great. Gilda, 147. I'm interested to see what's going to come here. Gilda, all the way from Johannesburg. Aha. This is a nature poem, Gilda, and it's called Bees. It's just a little poem that I wrote about bees one day. A description. She crawls, brushes, twists, swarms the tulip's red mauve throne, hovers spilling flashes, blues, hues, reflections across sprouting fields, stalks screeching green, lighting powders, stamen fluffing, seedy yellows, buzz, 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 waving the comb, wafting the breeze, sticky gold, hive these bees, float sprinkling, yellow dust, filling nature's needs. Blown miles flung wide, touches, squiggles, blossoms begging, quiver these bees. So, a little poem about a bee. Beatrice, 212. I just wanted to see what type. I think this is succinct poetry, to be honest. I'm just double checking this. 212. No, it's spiritual. It's called The Prison. The Prison. When it's the deep, distant chalice you are reaching for, take a hammer to the dungeon wall, grab the keys and run, bolt as if you were born into color. It's urgent, it's now, for time is not the ticking of the clock. It's the writing on the wall. Remember this. It's a deep one. You've got to listen to this once again very, very closely. Okay, maybe I'll talk about this poem a little bit just to enable you to get into the idea and the images which I was working on here. The prison, right? The prison. So this again is a metaphor for your own existence, which can be a prison. It can be. When it's the deep, distant chalice you are reaching for. So this is the chalice, of course, is the metaphor for your own higher self, your truest self, your deepest, truest self. When this is what you are reaching for, when this is what you are looking for, when this is where you are going, and you've made that decision through the affirmations that you make, the thoughts that you create, the feelings that you experience, and the life that you live, seeing it resonating with who you are in your own originality. Take a hammer to the dungeon wall, Grab the keys and run. So here the idea is there's not a moment to lose. Grab everything, grab all of your energy, all of your instruments, and break free of whatever it might be in your life, Beatrice. Something in your life that you need to break free from. Don't wait a moment longer. Take a hammer to the dungeon wall. Grab the keys, smash the wall down and run. Bolt as if you would be born into color. It's urgent. It's now. Yeah? That line, bolt as if you would be born into color. To be born into color, the metaphor here is this moment of liberation from something which has held you back. And when you've broken through it, the prison of that simple memory, that thought, reaching into the future, you will be born into color. For time is not the ticking of the clock. That's such an important idea. Time is not the ticking of the clock. It's the writing on the wall. Because the writing on the wall expresses that this is how it is, and that is something which will be holding you back. Your energy, your creativity, your enthusiasm, that is inhibiting this deepest, truest self to come to fruition. Time is not the ticking of the clock, it's the writing on the wall. Remember this. Wow, that's a really powerful poem. Thank you for choosing that. That's a great idea. It's a great message and thought for everyone who's listening this evening. That was all from book number. That was all from book number 2. Yeah, I read those poems from book number 2. Everybody, it's 10 minutes to 8. We've been a bit longer than normally. My voice hasn't given up yet. Has anyone else got a comment? Has anyone else like to have a poem? What I love to do, I like to read one poem, which I just open the book and say, this is for you, as my audience, as a thank you for being here this evening, as a thank you for listening, and something to take into your evening and to start your new week with. So I'm going to book number 1. And I'm on page 118. I'm just about to tell you what category of poetry this is. I've collected this under what's called emotional. So this is the final poem for this evening, everyone. And it's called Storm. I've known turmoil. I've known turmoil in my heart. For God's sake, these empathetic emotions, twisting they shred the light. Each thread bursting with synaptic energy, my head deep in the storm. I trip on lightning flashes. I'm fire alive in this dark. Heart pumping as clouds burst. Voice crackling as I choke on my indecisiveness. It's unsafe here in the storm. Wet splashes slap me in the face. Thunder vibrating the foundation of my DNA. Waking me up to decide the right. This monumental choice tonight. Instead, I'm ripped up running for cover, bolts barking at my ankles. It's protection I'm after. Protection from myself. Protection from my indecision. Protection from my prison. It's in this reflective sip, stolen at the corner, beneath the counter. I taste the sweet, hot tea, feel the cold, wet me. Fasting for the truth, I recognize the vision of you, the panorama of we, the profundity of me. Then let it go. Exhaling steam to the quiet, the storm. Inhaling the vibrant energy of inspiration. It's done, it's me. I got lost out there in translation. A dream or just another day done. I got lost out there in translation. A dream or just another day done. The storm. That's it, everyone. God bless. Namaste. Thank you for listening. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And I look forward so much to another evening in 2 weeks' time. Till then, all the best. Thank you. Take care and good night. Thank you, Simona.